Hello guys and welcome to another video from Below the Fortune. This is me, Below the Fortune here, and today I'm going to show you the updated puppet collection as of January 2023. The new puppets that I got more recently, and let's show the recent ones that I got that hasn't been featured yet. So before I show the others which are already featured or not. So here we go with the all-new Burnley puppet, and the all-new Burnley puppet is much different compared to the other Burnley because he's got upgraded recently, and you might watch the episode by tomorrow, which is coming out, and it's gonna be the final part of Burnley is Missing, where Burnley is found with his different look. So yeah, I missed the other Burnley because he got bit, because the pink version of him got bitten, and he's more of the bird-like puppet. So this one doesn't look like bird, and he's complete, and he's more of the humanoid puppet compared to something like that. But yeah, so there's the new Bernie. He's got that human look to it. He's got that relatable clothes. And although he still acts like Bernie, because I don't want to change his attitude, because he's still Bernie because he's upgraded. And there's a back of him, and there's that tag. It says the Puppet Company Limited. That's all the puppet that they got, and his mouth moves as well. And now, we're going to show you one of the newer characters that will be introduced from that episode, which is Burnley, and Burnley is named after the football club that was Burnley Football Club, but that hasn't got to do with Burnley Football Club. That's about Burnley himself, and Burnley was the and Burnley, it looks a little bit similar to Bernie, but although he looks different. And yeah. And his mouth moves, but doesn't even move as much compared to Bernie, because I think his mouth got a little bit crooked compared to, like, Chloe. And there's a back. And the same tag. The Puppet Company. And now I'm going to now it's the Elmo puppet, Elmo from Sesame Street, and his looks is recognizable to the official version on the TV. His mouth can speak, and his hands are poseable whenever you do them, and sorely love that other puppets, like for the other Elmo puppet. It's like a meme whenever he fights out with Kermit. But yeah, so that's one of the Elmo puppets. There's a back of him, and there's a different way to perform his mouth, whether you go on his pocket instead of under the bottom leather back. And there's the tag. And that's one of the tag of Sesame Street, with other Sesame Street characters, Ernie and Bert. And there's that Sesamstrasse logo, which is the co-production of Sesame Street in Germany. That's called Sesamstrasse. And there's an English and German in hand puppets. Hand puppets was the name, is translated as German as Handpuppen. And there's a back. And these ones were made by Living Puppets. I guess that's also German as well. There's that tag, copyright 2019 Sesame Workshop. So this Elmo is made back in Germany back in 2019, and he's made from one of the Sesamstrasse co-productions. And now let's go to the other new puppets that I already brought. And this one here is the improved Sooty puppet that was also made back in 2019, but it's in the UK compared to that Elmo puppet, which is made from Germany. And that Sooty puppet came in a bag, unlike the other ones, like the fragile, poor, and old other Sooty that his eye got bitten, and I call him Ouchie because for some reason his left eye was bit and it was missing. So we'll show you a comparison in a minute, and let's go with the. Oh, it sounds a bit wonky, Jesus. But now we go to the improved Sooty puppet first, and the improved Sooty puppet usually does the same thing like the other Sooty puppets, and his looks more recognizable to the TV show, and he does have the same movements, and here's the back of him. And there's this comparisons like one of the scrapped versions of Sooty that the BBC made to Room 101 back in 1950s or 1960s, and there's that improved Sooty from one of the merchandise, and this Sooty usually have a mouth, but this one doesn't, which is like the newer Sooty designs that doesn't have a mouth. And now let's go with the new and improved Sweep. So there's the new and improved Sweep puppet, and like Sooty usually moves his hands, and instead of being squeaked from the bottom from a tummy, he's squeaked from his head. It's just like this. And like the improved Sooty, this improved Sweep has the similar looks compared to the TV version, and looks more recognizable indeed. There's a back of him, and its ears doesn't even flop as much compared to the other Sweep puppet. So let's compare him and the earlier merchandise versions of Sweep, not the BBC version, but the one from possibly 1970s, of course. And his size is compared to the other Sweep is smaller and a little hard to see. He's got a paper nose that sticks out. He has melted and he has and you can't see the mouth, but his ears are more floppier than compared to this Sweep puppet. So yeah, there's the improved versions of Sooty and Sweep puppet, and so in the comparisons. But now let's go to the final ones, and it is the other versions of Grand Punch and Neil Miss Moffat versions. So there was the different versions of Grand Punch and Neil Miss Moffat versions. So this is what I guess it was made by the same company who done the other puppets, and for Punch and Judy play, but the Grand Punch looks like he was wearing a different outfit, and yeah, that will happen in some scenes whenever he goes on a holiday somewhere, and yeah. Can see a bit of right here, and so yeah. And here's a comparisons compared, and these are comparisons with the other Grand Punch. The other Grand Punch usually has orange hair and like something like that. So yeah, I only used this version whenever he goes on holiday and dyed his hair a bit in one of the Bonito episodes, and yeah, there's a comparison, and you can tell that's the same designer. And now let's compare with the Princess Moth, or aka Princess Moffat, aka Princess Moth, and it is one of the moments where Neil Mitch Moffat dreams up to being a princess, and there's a comparisons with Neil Mitch Moffat. So these two puppets look has the same face, but has a different eyebrow, which is red, and his hair looks red too. The crown is now golden, while this one looks bluish, and his hair is kind of blonde, and his eyebrow is like blackish. Same blue eyes, but looks a little bit different. But the design is different. There's dotted clothes with princess cards on it, and there's one of the different clothes. So that's the different Grand Punch and Neil Mitch Moffat puppets, and now we'll go on to the other policeman puppet, which is the third one, and I guess it looks different compared to the other policeman puppets, and yeah, because that other policeman puppet that I just showed you. Usually wears his orange beard and orange eyebrow and beard. Oh, no, not his beard, but his mustache. But this one didn't even change. This one changes though because this policeman puppet is so different because he's redesigned, and compared to his policeman hat, it stayed the same, like the other ones. He has an exclamation mark on it. Looks like an exclamation mark. But this policeman on the other one looks different. It's got black hair, black eyebrows, got black mustache, and there's a back of him. And I called him Jeff because Jeff is one of the David cousins, and yeah, his name's Jeff. So yeah, that's all. No, that's not all. But we're missing one, and it is one of the older friends of Mr. Wet, named Mr. Knott, and Knott is spelled as Knott. Mr. Knott, and unlike Mr. Wit, the other crocodile puppet named as Mr. Knott doesn't move his mouth, and he's more of a glove puppet type. So yeah, and he's an older brother of Mr. Wit, so that's why I call him Mr. Knott. His eyes looked more of a Punch and Judy looking, and his mouth doesn't even move compared to Mr. Wet. I already said his mouth doesn't move all the time, but yeah. So there's Mr. Knott. He's got all the colourful things on his back. So yeah, that's Mr. Knott. And yeah, that's all of the recent puppets that I got back by late December to 2023, and let's put Boonley and Booney back. So yeah, that's all. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe to Blue the Fortune, and this new version of Booney will be appearing on the new Booney Zero episode alongside Boonley. So yeah, and the other characters might be appearing later on in season 2 or season 3. Later on in season 3 or season 4, I guess, but I don't know. So thank you very much, and I'll see you guys later on. Maybe I'll get more puppets like them because I'm planning to bring on Cookie Monster or Bert. So yeah, I don't know. See ya, folks.